What's up, everybody? It's Luke James, not the singer. If you're looking to get your music reviewed, you can hit up this email that's right here. But today I'm going to hit you up with my thoughts and opinions on this new album from Add-2, and it is called Jim Crow the Musical. Now, Add-2 is a rapper who's coming out of Chicago. He's been active since around 2006, and while I haven't reviewed any of his projects on my channel, I can say that this guy is a top quality lyricist. I have revisited many of his projects in the past. He has a lot of good mixtapes that have been out there for a while, so go back and check his past catalog as well, but definitely don't sleep on this album right here because we're just about to hit 2020. This shit just came out, and I think it is really going to make my top 10 list, so I am pretty excited to talk about it. Now, as the title suggests here, you are going to get some of that high quality lyricism that I touched on just a minute ago, and you are going to get some pretty deep themes and concepts because, as the title suggests, with the name Jim Crow in there, you are getting into a lot of stuff that has to do with black culture and black history. Right from the start, we're hit with the beautifully jazzy joint called The Secret Life of Blacks, and on this one, Add-2 is reflecting on some of his own experiences and things that he's seen, like when he spits, Obama picture next to white Jesus, them white teachers couldn't reach us, they couldn't see we doing wrong for the right reasons. So I thought that was a pretty good set right there because he's rapping about the disconnect in the public schools, and I also like these bars here where he said, I'm black like shopping with my mama, mean don't ask for shit, brother start a fight, now all our asses whipped, it's ironic how we learned it from master, but we mastered it. I thought that shit right there was very clever. You could see what he's getting at as far as massa and slavery with the whips and just coming up and getting that old-fashioned ass whooping that a lot of us got. I know my mom used to take the wooden spoon once in a while. Not putting her on blast, I'm not saying I was getting like beaten or anything like that, but I took a couple spoons to the butt back in the day, man. That shit had to go down different times. I know today, man, you can't do hardly anything to these damn kids. I know how it is, but I've mastered the art with my kids of just looking at them like this. And sometimes they stop, or sometimes I got to get a bit loud. But anyway, I thought those were some really good lines on there. There's no shortage of quality bars throughout this. And also, if you like that traditional hip-hop sound with jazz elements and soulful vibes, you are absolutely going to love this project sonically. So if you like the idea of the content that I've spoken on, you are getting this nice sound as well to go behind it. And that's what makes it one of my favorite albums, because I love that sound, and I love content that goes deep. So one of the examples of just the very velvety, smooth production on here can be heard on Back in the Day. You're getting some nice background vocals here, and it's a little bit of a neo-soul vibe. And you also get a Fonte feature, although he really is just doing a bit of talking, which is too bad because he would have fit this perfectly with a verse, man. He would have snapped on this beat. Even still, I like that he made that appearance. You are getting a great performance from Brittany Carter. I'm not too familiar with her, but I thought she had a lot of personality and charisma in her bars. Definitely gonna have to check out more of her stuff and keep an eye out. Just a really cool track, and you might also notice that you're getting an interpolation on here from the song Back in the Day, which was by Ahmad. That is one of my all-time favorite hip-hop tracks. One of the songs that made me fall in love back in the day when I was like, man, I was like in elementary school. I don't know how old I was when that song came out, but I know it was the early 90s. I used to kill that track. If you're not familiar, look it up because it is an all-out classic as far as I'm concerned. So I did appreciate that little nod there. But mostly it is those themes of black excellence and perseverance that really stick out throughout this album, and not just because of that content, but because of how they're executed, because he really does have some pretty cool songwriting approaches, and he does take some concepts with these tracks. So take, for example, the song Fifs. On here, he's speaking on what it's like in the streets where dreams are killed and fear is spread, and he also touches on the idea of how hoopers can go from shot takers to gun shooters and drug dealers can turn to drug users. As the title suggests, if you didn't know, this is in reference to how black Americans were once considered to be 3/5 of a person, which is just some crazy shit, but not surprising knowing America's history and even some of the shit that still goes on now. So I thought that was a cool title. It's cool how he's rapping about some of these issues that are still plaguing the community, things that have been going on for a while, and just addressing them. That's great. Kind of just getting into the hopelessness that some people might face, while also speaking on injustice, like with these bars here. Can't be peaceful because you see what being peaceful do. Want me to be like Dr. King? But shit, you killed him too. That is just some really dope shit, and the perfect clapback for people who have this idea of the perfect Negro, you know what I mean? Like, if you dress like this and talk like this and act like this, man, you will be respected, you won't have any racism, people will love you and da-da-da, which we all know is some bullshit anyway. I like the way that he phrased that with those bars there, so that was pretty dope, man. Basically the idea of how, you know, racism is so inbred in people, or imprinted in people, maybe I could say. It's just systemic, it's very deep. You can't just shake that off just by, you know, being a great person. Some people are so fucking racist, it just is what it is. So lots of great stuff on here. But the two most chilling tracks, as I scroll down my notes here, have got to be Hashtag and Willie Lynch. Hashtag has this very minimalistic production to it. It has organs and bongos that are just building this very somber feel, and it deals with the all too common story of black people becoming hashtags. We see it all the time whenever you come on social media and you see these horrible videos posted of, you know, black people being gunned down, abused by police for like doing fuck all. We've all seen this shit. It still goes on once in a while. That's really what this song gets into, as well as how desensitized we are becoming to seeing these things, man. Just this trauma over and over. Sometimes we get desensitized by it. Sometimes it's trauma that is imprinted in us and it, you know, makes us worry about different things, as he does get into on this song, because he brings up how he's scared to even teach one of his family members to drive because he knows that he could be putting his life on the line in some of these places, most particularly down in the States. I'm speaking as a Canadian here, to be clear, but you know, the whole world, we see it, not just where we are, like we have our own shit too, but we see it in the States as well. So I like how he was touching on all of that. And man, there are some great bars on here, like when he spits, "I could tell you didn't care when you backed up, didn't call for ambulance, you called for backup, but you scared and I ain't even have a gun on me. Before you check my pulse, you check if I have drugs on me. Real shit, I don't even feel shit. I wish somebody helped. Instead, they sat back and filmed it." So there's also this whole idea there of just how, again, we're just becoming so desensitized to it. We're used to seeing it. People whip out their phones, they record the shit. I mean, it is good to catch these moments, I guess, and hopefully get some sort of justice. But as we see, sometimes that shit doesn't even matter. He acknowledges that on that song when he speaks on how camera footage doesn't always result in getting that justice. And he sums things up with this line right here where he says, "The most important black man is a dead one." I thought that was just a very powerful line. Just the whole idea of how whenever one of these stories pops up, man, like it is all over the damn place. We know how it goes. We've seen it with plenty of names. So this was just a really profound and deep track. I like the way that he approached it. Had a little bit of storytelling on there when he was rapping from the perspective of someone who was killed by a cop and left there, like with those bars I was talking about, also tying in his personal experiences. And I think that's a part of what makes this album so great. He's really good at rapping about these issues and breaking them down in his own unique way with plenty of clever bars, strong narrative, imagery, storytelling, all those sorts of things. But he also puts that personal touch in there that really helps you connect as a listener and feel where he's coming from, man. I think this is just a great album. Great bars, great production, great concepts. I like how he does take these topics and kind of approach them in a unique way, which you're also going to get on the song Willy Gets Lynched. This beat is especially haunting, kind of this laid back, weird, sad jazz type of feel. You got these horns that come in that are just very somber and gloomy. Really like the feel of this track. And on this one, he's speaking on a different type of slavery in 2019, basically where black people's culture, you know, our music, our clothing, slang, skill, everything is getting pimped out. We see it also on social media. He talks about how on social media, it almost seems like it's becoming a bit of a mental prison, the way people pick sides in topics and debates. You know how it goes. Everybody's kind of going either this way or that way. Like people aren't looking at the gray area, context, nuance anymore. There is sort of a weird sort of mind control. Like I get what he's getting at when he says that. I thought that was a really dope thing there. And he goes into a lot of detail as he's breaking this all down. Like I'm not doing the best job of describing it, but really great track. There's also on that first verse, he's rapping about a lynching going on. That shit too was really sad and powerful. And he's using this really unique delivery on this track where he sounds almost like a ringmaster. He's like, gather around. I'm going to tell you how to control the masses and tell you how to keep people fighting with each other. These sorts of things. Really dope concept. Love that song approach. And that's what I'm talking about sometimes when I'm reviewing albums and I'm telling you guys how much I like when people take a topic and approach it in a different type of way. That's what he's doing with a lot of these songs. Because we've heard a lot of these same ideas and topics before from other rappers. We know that. I love it. I appreciate it. But he is taking some different routes here, and that's really dope. So to keep moving, he does get into some other topics as well. On Souls for Sale, obviously, as the title suggests, he's spitting a bit about industry politics. He's getting introspective about life, love, death, and family on the song Wings and Soul Searching. And he does still even, go with some tracks that are a bit more simple, and yet they're still high quality. Songs that really aren't that deep or covering too much of a topic, but still deliver some great moments. So, for example, you have Fear of God and Get Your Hand Out of My Pocket. Both of these are just bar fests over soulful vocal chopped beats. The latter in particular has plenty of nice lines like, niggas don't get the picture yet, you could amputate my foot, I still wouldn't miss a step. Thought that was a hard line. You get the song Homecoming. This is just a high energy marching band banger. Thought this was a pretty dope track. I could certainly see it being played at sporting events, parties, when people were just trying to rally up, you know what I mean? That was a dope moment. And you even get a couple of lovey-dovey neo-soul joints with the songs Jump the Broom and Nappy Hair. Jump the Broom actually had some pretty funny moments on it. He references that, "Ooh, I love my wife, I love my wife, ah!" He references that meme. He says to Chance, like, you can do that on this song if you want to. I thought that was pretty funny. He also has a part on here where he's rapping about how he knows he's in love with the woman because she got him watching Lifetime. That shit to me is hilarious because my wife had me watching 90 Day Fiance like a damn crackhead, man. I was all over that shit. Caesar had the chocolate panties he was smothering in the suitcase. If you don't know what I mean, this just sounds like I'm speaking another language. But if you know Caesar is a sad motherfucker, but that's a whole other story. They're on a new season now, so might need to get caught up. But anyway, I felt what he was saying with that one. That was pretty funny. But Nappy Hair was my favorite of the two songs. It just has this gorgeous production on it, and he's showing love to the Black Queens who really set a lot of trends, and yet, sometimes they get demonized for these same things. Like, we've seen this discussion plenty of times as he spits. Girl, they gotta sit under the sun to get skin like yours. They gotta buy it like a doctor to get lips like yours. So, he kind of summed up my bad summation right there with those bars. But I think we're gonna wrap this one up. To me, this is a 4.5 out of 5. I don't think it's an all-out perfect album. I don't think, sonically, like, it's really doing anything too different or setting itself apart. That's kind of what I save 5s for, is those albums that when you hear them, it's like, oh my god, this is going to be some game-changing shit. Like, I've only given a 5 to Pimp a Butterfly. I've had a lot of 4.5s and some that were pretty close to 5s. That's just how I am. I know I'm stingy with it, but, I think that makes the top scores a bit more special. But that doesn't matter, man. Like, I'm not trying to downplay this shit. This shit is a 4.5, a very strong one. Dope album. Do not sleep on it. He spits effortlessly. There's great themes, concepts, songwriting, great beats, some catchy hooks on there as well. Shout out to the vocalists and guests who are on here. I think they fit in very nicely. You're going to hear a lot of singing vocals that really help tie some of these songs together. So yeah, this is yet another great album in 2019 that comes from a lesser known artist, man. I hope people will wake up and check Add-2. I've been listening to him for a little while now. Like I said, I haven't gotten around to reviewing any of his projects. Sometimes I just get so backlogged and whatever, but I wanted to with this one. Heard it, it was super dope, and I knew I had to do it. So there you go, man. Don't sleep on Add-2. Check the shit out. Hit me up in the comment section to let me know how you feel about it when you check it out. I know you're not going to be disappointed if you have similar taste to me, and if that's why you fuck with the channel, to look for this type of hip-hop. I always boost that sound, I like that kind of traditional stuff with lots of great themes and concepts, storytelling, bars, all that. This one has it. Check it out. Let me know what you think. And of course, make sure you do that good YouTube and social media stuff, man, where you show me love and you show me lots of it. Thank you for watching, everybody. I will see you next time.